everyone, and welcome to another week of our virtual pre-K art day here at the Living Arts and Science Center. I am very excited about our projects and our book that we're going to be reading today called I Love My Hair. I even wore my hair in my favorite style. We call these tootie buns at the camp I used to work at. So I wore them today to celebrate my hair. So we're going to start off, like we always do, reading a story, and then we're going to move on over to a craft. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do a braid today. So we're going to use those braids. You can use them for your hair, for your friend's hair, or even to make friendship bracelets. So let's come on in and get started with our story. We're going to be reading I Love My Hair. Every night before I go to bed, Mama combs my hair. I sit between her knees, resting my elbows on her thighs like pillows. Mama is always gentle. She rubs coconut oil along my scalp and slowly pulls the comb through my hair. But sometimes it still hurts. When Mama gets to especially tangled places, I try my hardest not to cry, sucking in my breath and pressing my hands together until they're red. But a few tears always manage to squeeze out. Mama, stop, I cry when I can't stand the comb tugging at my hair any longer. Mama puts the comb down and rubs my hurting places. Then she leans in close to me like she has a big secret to tell. Do you know why you're so lucky to have this head of hair, Kenya? She asks. I shake my head no, because it's beautiful, and you can wear it in any style you choose. I can spin your hair into fine, soft yarn, just like our grandmothers did at their spinning wheels, and weave it into puffy little bun. Or I can part your hair into straight lines and plant rows of braids along your scalp, the way we plant seeds in our garden. Then wait and watch for them to grow. In the morning, before we walk to the store, Mama adds colorful beads to the ends of my braids. The beads click to the rhythm of my walk, helping me remember what we're going to buy. Tap, tap, clicky, clacky, milk, bread, peanut, butter. Folks on the street look at me and smile as I dance along to the tap, tap, clicky, clacky music my hair makes just for me. Some days, I just let my hair be free to do what it wants, to go any which way it pleases. Then my hair surrounds my head like a globe. This is my Afro style. Once when I wore it, the kids at school teased me. My head felt heavy and I let it hang down low. But my teacher made me feel better. She said that when she was growing up, folks counted their hair as a blessing. Wearing an afro was a way for them to stand up for what they believed, to let the world know that they were proud of who they were and where they came from. I love my hair because it is thick as the forest, soft as cotton candy, and curly as a vine winding upward, reaching the sky and climbing towards outer space. Today, I'm wearing it in my favorite style of all, 2 ponytails that stick out on either side of my head and flap in the air like a pair of wings. One of these days, I just might take off and fly. The end. All right, I love this book so much, and I love the illustrations or the pictures in this book as well. Once we get to our activity, I'm going to show a couple, I'm going to get a couple close-ups with Miss Heather so we can be inspired for our masterpiece. And as always, Miss Heather is behind the camera, so if you guys want to comment along or say hi, she'll let us know and we can kind of talk to each other while we're working. So, what are we going to need today? We're going to need a couple different pieces of string. I have a couple different colors and styles. That way it's easier for me to see them. I also even grabbed a couple pipe cleaners because sometimes it's easier when it's stiffer. I also have a piece of paper, some tape, some scissors, and some markers and crayons for our coloring activity. So I'm going to teach you all how to make some braids, and then we're going to make a 3D picture where we use our braids as our hair. So let's get started. I'm going to have Miss Heather come around me so you can look over my shoulder. So on this piece of paper you see 3 letters, L, C, and R. Now when I'm teaching you how to braid, I'm going to tell you to grab the left string, or the center string, or the right string. So having these letters at the top of our page is going to help us remember our right from our left just a little bit easier. So let's grab some string. So take some time and cut 3 pieces of string that are the exact same size. Now if you can, while we're learning, try to pick 3 different colors or 3 different styles. That way it's easier to see the difference. But if they're all the same, that's okay. We have some letters here to help us. The first thing we're going to do is tape these pieces of string under these letters right here. So I'm going to start in the center with this curly one right here that kind of looks like a piece of hair. I'm just going to tape that down right under the C. Tear myself another little piece of tape. Grab another string. And I'm going to put this one right under the R for the right side. And then my last string is going to go right under the left side. And I'm taping them down because we're going to be pulling them a little bit so that, and we don't want it to fall off of our table. It's going to be easier for us to practice if they're kind of stuck in one spot. So I have a right, a center, and a left. Now I want to show you a hand move. This hand move is going to help us as we're practicing. You're going to go out, in. Other side, out, in. Right, out, in. Left, out, in. So practice out, in, out, in, out, in. Now with our hand motions, we're going to be doing the same thing with our braids. We're going to be taking an outside string and bringing it to the inside. And then we'll go to the other side, the outside, and bring it to the inside. So as you practice that, remember, we're going to be doing that with our string. So let's get in close here. I'm going to start with my right side. And I'm going to bring it over, so now it's the center. So it went out and in. Now I'm going to take my left side and bring it out and in. And you'll notice we have a new right string, we have a new center string, and we have a new left string. But we're going to do the exact same thing, starting on the right side. So out and in. On the left side, out and in. And now we have a new right string, a new center string, and a new left string. Let's start with our right one again. We're going to go out and in. Our left side, out and in. And you'll notice, now that we've done a couple rounds of it, we can start to see this braid forming right here. It's weaving together. So let's keep going all the way down our strings. Out and in. Left side, out and in. Starting over on the right side, we go out and in. Left side, out and in. We're going to go fast now. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, and look at this braid forming now. They're all forming this weave together as we go down. Out, in, left side, out and in, right side, out and in. We're almost to the bottom. Left side, out and in, right side, out and in, left side, out and in. All right, so I'm close to the bottom. So what I'm gonna do now, you're probably gonna need your grown-up to help you, but if you're really good at it, take some more practice. I'm gonna tie a knot at the end of this. That way my braid doesn't unravel. So if you were doing this with your hair, this is where you would put your hair tie at the bottom so it doesn't fall out. So when I tie this in, because it's multiple strings together, I'll show you a little trick. I wrap it around my finger, and you see how that creates a loop? I take my string, and I pull it, my strings, all three of them, and I pull it through that loop. Now I have a knot at the end of my braid. And then I'm just going to untie these or untape them from the top and do the same thing. That way it doesn't unravel from the top because it's no longer taped. Do a little knot. If you're having trouble with a knot, that's okay. Just take a piece of tape and wrap it around the ends. That way it doesn't fall apart. That'll work too. So now we have this beautiful braided piece of yarn that we can turn into hair on our picture that we're going to create soon. So I'm going to do one more example of a braid for you before we start making our pictures. But this time I'm going to use pipe cleaners because they're a little stiffer. So maybe they will work a little better for you if you're having trouble with the yarn. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I have a left, a center, and a right. And I'm going to tape my 3 pipe cleaners right under. So my green one is going to be left. My yellow is going to be my center. And my purple over here is going to be my right. All right, so let's practice our hand motion again. So we go out and in, out and in, right and in, left and in. Now let's do that to our pipe cleaners. Starting with our right, out and in, out and in. We have a new right, and it goes out and in. We have a new left that goes out and in. Out and in, out and in. Now this one you can kind of see the braid forming a little bit better. Out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. Look at that braid forming, how pretty. Keep going all the way down. And if you have some beads at home, maybe you could put some beads at the bottom, just like our friend in the story. All right, so now I'm going to Since these are pipe cleaners, I can just twist them to make a knot. And I'll twist these to make a knot. Now, let's take a look back at our book because there were some really cool pictures that might help inspire your drawing that we're going to do here in a minute. Some of the illustrations in here that I loved were when her hair was like forming other things. So her hair is becoming that yarn. Kind of like this one right here. And her hair right here, these braids, I love that they formed into these rows of seeds. We also see her afro style that looked like a big globe. And you'll notice in the picture, in the illustration, they kind of made it form right into that globe, like it blends together. And then the last one, she said she had her, ooh, I forgot about this one. This one, little looking vines. So she says that they're reaching the sky, reaching towards outer space, and you can see her hair is becoming these vines that are climbing up the tree. And then the last one, she had her hair in 2 pig ponytails. And she said it helped her fly, so you can kind of see that they're wings. So as we're making our drawing, you can use your imagination and turn this hair into anything. That's the really cool thing about art. We can use our imagination and create some really cool pictures. All right, so we're going to take our drawing utensils, whether you have a marker or crayons, whatever you like to use, and we're going to start off drawing our face. So our face is the shape of an oval. So it's not a perfect circle, it's kind of a stretched out circle. So we're going to start with that. We're going to make an oval. There we go. So we've got our oval. What else is on our face? Well, we have a neck. We just don't have a floating head in space. So to make our neck, we're going to make some arches. And that's kind of like a line that curves. So we're going to start at the bottom of our oval, like our chin area, and we're going to make an arch. So a curved line, just like that. And then on the other side, we're going to start, make another arch, which is a curved line. Now we have our neck and our head. What else do we have on our face? Well, I have a big smile, so let's add a smile. I'm going to use a different color this time. And I'm really happy today with this story, so I'm going to make my smile really, really big. And maybe even I'll add some teeth. A big old tooth grin right there. Maybe I'm missing a tooth, so I'll color that in. Missing my front tooth. And then right above our mouth, we've got our nose. So we'll come in and draw some nose. And when I draw a nose, I do 2 little arches, kind of like you did for your neck, because those are going to be our nostrils. And then we'll put the holes where we breathe out of. And connect it up to our eyes. So that's one way to draw a nose. Another way that's just kind of easier is if you just make part of a triangle, but don't finish it. So like that, that's another way you could draw a nose. And then above our nose, we have our eyes. This actually has blue eyes, so I'm going to find blue. There we go. So our eyes, they're kind of like the shape of a football. They're kind of like a circle that's been squished a little bit. Or maybe the shape of an almond, the nut. And we have our eyeballs where we see. And then you can either draw your eyebrows or maybe you use your braided yarn. as your eyebrows. And you know what? Our person here can't hear anything yet, so let's give them some ears. When I draw ears, I think of a heart that's been split in half. So if you were to take this and squish it, it would kind of look like a heart. But when it's cut in half, they kind of look like ears. All right, I have a pretty silly looking face right here, but I'm gonna add some hair. So I'm gonna turn our 2D, or two-dimensional picture, and when I add this to it, I'm gonna make it 3D, or three-dimensional. Okay, so I'm gonna take my tape, and this is where you can get really, really creative. Maybe your person has a hairstyle that sticks straight up in the air. All the hair just like sticks straight up like a fan is blowing. Or maybe you have some bangs. So we have some like some leftover string here. Maybe those are our bangs. So we'll put a piece of tape right there. So we've got some bangs coming down and some hair that moves. And we'll keep adding. I'm going to keep adding some hair to my picture. What do you think, friends? That's a pretty silly looking picture right there. But how fun. We've braided some hair, or now maybe we even have some friendship bracelets that we can share with people. Pretty cool. Thank you for joining me as we learn to braid. So if you want to comment along with your pictures, I would love to see the pictures that you create, or if you know how to braid a different way, because there's lots of different ways to braid, show me a video. Let's share different ways to learn how to braid together. All right, before we close off our pre-K art day, we're gonna sing a little song together. We do this every week, so hopefully you know some of the words now, and if you don't know the words, grown-ups, sing a little louder. We're gonna sing the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. So I'm going to start off, and when I nod, it's time for you to join me in singing. Here we go. Here's a little song I wrote. You might like to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. Sometimes in life we get some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. It's my favorite part. Do 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 do. Thank you all so much for another week. Hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday, and I hope you share your projects with us in the comment section. I would love to see how you practice your braids. Have a great day, everyone.